Well, we will call the FARGODOME Authority July 25th meeting to order. First off, you have the agenda in front of you. Are there any additions to the agenda?
I don't know if I have to officially add it, but I would just, at the end, the conversation on the September 2023 FDA meeting and its timing based on somebody's vacation schedule.
Okay. All right, so we will add that. Are there any other additions?
Sure.
Hearing none.
Move to accept the agenda as presented, Mr. Chair, with amendments.
All right, we got a first.
Second.
And a second by Blake. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, you have the minutes in front of you. Please look at them and
Move to approve.
Second.
a first and a second. Did you get both those? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Is there any old business in front of the committee? Hearing none. We'll go to the new business, general manager's report. Rob.
All right, thank you.
We'll start on page 3, which is the financials for the month of June. So we are, is that 6? So we're halfway through the year? Dang. As usual, the month is on the left-hand side. The year-to-date through June is on the right-hand side. So starting on the month side, we had 5 events with attendance of just about 49,000 compared to a budget of 5 event days and 58,000. We had total event income of just over 169,500 compared to a budget of $226,000. And we had expenses of $380,000, which are about $6,500 above budget, above the budget at $373,500. So for the month of June, we had a net deficit of $43,500. So unfortunate that it was below the budgeted surplus of $6,700, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. As far as the events themselves, basically it was high school graduation and Rib Fest. And so Happy Harry's Rib Fest had a great event, 44,000 people. She's not in the room, so I'll blame her because I won't call Zach out. But you know, as you remember, we budget these, so this was being budgeted back in April and May of 2022. I think we got a little aggressive on the per caps for food and beverage, and so they were a little strong, but we were close to we were within a reasonable discrepancy on budgeted attendance. The budget of that always flows through based on per caps and things such as that. Still a great event, had a lot of people. Managed expenses. Expenses were higher with everything being costing more and different things such as that. I will mention we have now received back the deposit on the artist that was going to perform and didn't perform, and so we have all that money, so there was a zero other than the scramble and a couple things there, so we got that money back. So Ribfest did it. Happy Harry's was about 50,000 below budget, but I think our budget was pretty strong, and actually for 2024 those per cap numbers were adjusted a little bit as well. So on the expense side, operations slightly above budget. June was a hot month, plus with all the activity going on with high school graduation, and then Ribfest, it was the kind of the cool zone. And then with football camps going on, so the little bit higher steam expense offset by some other things. And then food and beverage, the management fee slightly below budget based off, again, sales at Ribfest. Questions on the month of June? Moving forward then, through the first half, 46 events, attendance of just over 214,000, which is a favorable or pretty close comparison to the 216,000 budgeted in 49 events. We've had total event income of just about $1,700,000, or about $131,000 above budget. Unfortunately, on the flip side, on the expense side, we've had expenses of $2,535,000, or about $137,000 above budget. The budgeted $2,340,000. However, we do still, for the first half of the year, have a net surplus of $172,500, which is pretty close to matches our budget of 86,451, so 86,100 above budget. So still ended the first 6 months in a good position. As we always know, July is definitely a deficit month with the heat and the air conditioning and things such as that. August probably won't be a deficit month this year, we hope. September and October should be strong, November should be strong, and we'll let you know what happens in December by December 31st. So, questions on anything with it only being one month, one event really in June? I don't really need to go over the year-to-date unless you want me to or have questions.
Mr. Chair, at this time, the financials for month ended and year-to-date were received and approved at the Finance Committee. So at this time, I would make a motion to accept the month of June and the 6 months ending June 2023 to be accepted at the FARGODOME Authority level.
Roll call is Dan?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Troy?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Blake?
All right.
Thank you. Moving on then to page 13 will be the calendar. And so since our last meeting, which was June 27, we did move in USA Wrestling as we talked about a building and finance. We did actually end up having to do it on the main piece of turf. I think overall it went okay. It had its own challenges and it had some of its own positives with that, but that event started moving in on Monday the 10th and spent the 10th through the 14th moving in. The wrestling, one of the first weigh-ins, the female weigh-in, started in the late afternoon, early evening of Friday the 14th, with wrestling starting on Saturday the 15th, and so they had all of the women's tournaments on the 15th and 16th this year, and then the under 15 and junior freestyle were then on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Thursday the 20th was an actual off day for competition. However, the building was open and all the mats were, the teams were working out and practicing on that day. And then the Greco-Roman, the male juniors and 16U all had their tournament on the Friday, Saturday the 21st, 22nd. Finished up wrestling about around 8 o'clock Saturday night. A lot of people started packing up, and then they also moved out on Sunday the 23rd, and we took everything down off of the football turf and then cleaned the turf yesterday the 24th, which takes us to today.
Just a question, you've probably covered this, Rob. Where do all the mats come from? I mean, all the wrestling mats, there's got to be a lot of them.
Yeah, they had 30 on the floor this year, so
Okay.
that's a lot.
Where do they?
USA Wrestling has 2 of their own mats that we now store both of them here. They brought in another one. A lot of them, like Dolomer or the wrestling mat companies, they sell them ahead of time, and so they sell them to schools. Frankly, now it used to be kind of the tri-state area, but it's from all over. And I believe they give a bit of a discount if they allow them to use them here. So what happens is the factory ships them here to FARGODOME. They get used for 7 days, and then they're packed up and shipped off to the school. Or the schools will come and pick them up. And then Fargo Public Schools has a large amount of wrestling mats as well that are used for it as well, along with the Metro Tournament Committee has their 2 main mats, the 3 main mats now maybe, that we store here as well. So we actually store here now, I think, this year now it'll be 5 wrestling mats, which can be a challenge at times.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions on I think, Troy, or maybe you might, I think they had 7,900 registrations, and so those registrations were, I believe, somewhere in the 5,300 to 5,600 unique wrestlers, because obviously on the male side, some will participate both in the freestyle tournament and the Greco-Roman tournament. But it was the largest. Never say never, I guess, but I believe it was the largest ever as far as the amount of wrestlers, and we saw it. It was a very busy week, both positive and not so positive. So we'll have a lot of conversations with NDSU and USA Wrestling, just on some adjustments and things that could be done differently. So, but overall, I think very good. I believe NDSU was out of dorm room space, so that's strong. The hotels were very filled. I believe Concordia even got some dorm business off of it. So it's great for the city. It's great for the city. So it's good to have. Moving forward, then you saw the tables in the lobby. The United Way will be doing their school supply packing and distribution here from the FARGODOME here for the next 2 weeks through. I believe they'll pack, set up finishing tomorrow, and then pack this Thursday, Friday, and Monday, Tuesday of next week, and then start distributions Wednesday of next week through Friday. And they will then move out. And the following week of the 7th, Def Leppard Motley Crue will be coming in, I believe, a day early right now. That could change with the concert on Friday the 11th. They'll move out and we'll do a quick clean turnaround, and Pink will be in for her performance on Saturday the 19th of August. That will get loaded out, and then we'll put the turf back out on the floor, and that's when the repairs will be made, and we'll be ready to go and start right into September and the NDSU football season. Which takes us up to our next meeting, which will be on August 29th. Comments, questions, concerns, updates from any board members?
All right.
Hearing none, that would conclude my report.
All right, we will go to 3B, committee reports.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. We will go to the one being that is June financials that has been approved and accepted at the authority level. Item B is project and capital updates. At the Finance Committee and Building Committee meeting, Rob provided an update on the turf and that they're fixing they're working on the turf right now. It was discovered that a gear was needed to be installed and it was not machined properly, so there was some work to be done on getting that gear updated. And by the sounds of it, after the concerts in August, the turf will go back on the floor and we'll have turf. The other item that was discussed was the agreement with HVS Convention Sports Entertainment Facilities Consulting for consulting review updated with expansion projects. As we're traveling down the path of the renovation and the expansion, one of the items that we need to look at is what does it look like with both the renovation, the FARGODOME, and the convention center. So it was presented and discussed to retain HSV to do a pro forma of what the expansion and the convention center would look like for financial modeling. That was received and passed both by the Finance Committee and also by the Building Committee. That would conclude the project updates and the project and the capital budget updates. And the third item is the escrow balance performance review. That information was received at the Building and the Finance Committee meeting. It is in your packet of information, so please receive. With that, Mr. Chair, that concludes the Building and the Finance Committee report from this past Wednesday. I'd move to accept.
All right.
Nancy?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Troy?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Blake?
All right. Additional items, I guess we will discuss the September FDA meeting.
What do you want to talk about? It's just a heads up to the U7. I didn't get to pick the date or location, but I will be out of state, out of town on a wife and in-law trip the week of the September Dome Authority meeting, which is currently scheduled for Tuesday, September 26th. I will be out of the office Friday, September 22nd through Sunday, October 1st. So your two choices are you can go ahead and have that meeting as scheduled and I will just not be present. I think I'll be able to call in if you would prefer that. I don't think I'll be able to video in, so that is an option. Or you could, if it works for the group, look at moving the meeting to like Tuesday, October 3rd, if you prefer to have my presence in the room. at this time anticipate a lot of stuff on the agenda, but then again, life happens and things change. So I just wanted to give you the heads up. You don't have to make, there's no motion, nothing. Just wanted to make, since I was hoping all 7 would be here, I could make you aware of that. And you could let me or Amanda know which would work best for your schedules to.
Can we review this?
And ask for your to accommodate my schedule.
Yes.
So,
Can we revisit it at August? 'Cause
Certainly
we'll know-
can.
We'll know what's
Yep.
gonna be on the agenda if it's like.
100%.
or
Have
if
you
it's
ever
heavy.
been gone?
Have I ever missed an authority
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah.
Yes, I've missed a couple here.
When? Long time ago, huh?
I think
1886.
there was one where I was at the national convention, and then
What happened in those cases? Did they just move it to a different
Really
date?
got a lot of work.
they had the meeting. For instance, last February, both Susan and I were gone, so we did move it a week.
Okay, we
For
moved
this
that.
past
but
February.
Has there ever been a case where the meeting went on without you?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah. Bernie is more than capable, and Sarah and Amanda and Zach
And I
are
think
more than capable to handle it.
I was just gonna say, if Rob's on vacation that week, I think that we try to do the meeting without you having to call in, so
Or
you
at a minimum.
can truly be on your
Well,
vacation.
did he say he was
you
on
may not have
vacation?
heard. You may not have heard, and I realize this is on camera. But I said I was being on vacation
Yeah, you told
with
me
my
you set
wife
it up,
and
yeah.
my in-laws.
Yeah.
So
So you want a break?
You might wanna call in.
I'm not saying, just saying.
I gotta call in.
All right.
And this meeting goes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 3 days, right?
All right. It's a retreat.
Yes. Okay. So that is it.
Well, we can talk about
So yeah, I just wanted to get it out there soon enough as I actually just by accident looked in and went, oh hey, okay, opportunity, I can ask this. So
it. Okay. All right. Are there any other items? All right, if not, we're adjourned.
Good work.